Have you looked at? Have any of y'all looked at Discord's? I guess it's like Spotify Rewind or whatever it's called.
Spotify Wrapped?
Yeah, Spotify Rap.
Yeah. I've looked at Spotify Wrapped. I mean, I don't have Spotify. It's YouTube Wrapped. I think that's what they call it. But I got it.
But Spotify is the one that pioneered this Wrapped idea, right?
Yeah, they started it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Discord has one too. I don't know if you checked it.
I saw they do, but like I was like, what do you mean my Discord Wrapped? I haven't looked at it because I don't know what's gonna be on there. Like
I'm looking at it right now, and it's like number of messages sent, total emojis used, hours in voice, your favorite servers, which by the way, it's Uptime Vibes. Yeah. Your Discord squad that we're friendly the most time with this year, which we all as well.
Yay.
But one person was always your go-to is you.
Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go.
I don't know if it's that like impressive because I'm in the top 30% of Discord voice chatters worldwide. Is that really that?
That's not very impressive. I'm pretty sure half of Discord users are like bots too. So
yeah, and look at this. It says, I'm sorry, what are you saying? Azul?
She's asking for scissors. I don't know where they are.
your pocket knife.
Natasha, you're disrupting our very official podcast recording.
Yeah. This is the official Press Play Studio podcast.
Thank you. We should have like there needs to be a red button on the door and on air, so you know not to mess with us. But dude, how do you look this up? Oh,
how did I look this up? It just showed up when I logged in.
Shoot, I guess because I didn't look at it, they just like took it away.
Like he doesn't care.
Like Broski is not interested. Let's not.
Let me see if I can send you this. This is funny.
What is this? Fuck you, I'm the sidekick. I am not a sidekick, bro.
Exactly.
Just to be clear.
You are a sidekick, as in me.
Oh, Lamal, how does it pick this?
All right. Send a special message. Oh, okay. Let me do that then. My bad. This is perfect. Yeah, that's fine. There you go. What the hell?
What? I would see the voice video with you all day, Lamal.
They randomize another one.
They randomize it?
Yeah, they randomize you. Yeah.
That's kind of sweet. You know what? I approve this. Discord heads, I know you don't answer to me, but I approve this.
Actually, I think this is my favorite out of the YouTube Wrapped or whatever it's called, the Spotify Wrapped, and this one is my favorite because this builds community.
Yeah, dude.
Spotify one is just makes me feel like I'm a consumer.
Imagine they had Slack Wrapped. It was like, this year you ignored 200 messages. 50 of those were from Samuel. Yes, that's Samuel.
How many people got promoted that are not you? What percentile of promotions did you
want? And now, for what you've been waiting for, your most liked chat of the year. HR. You spent 200 hours talking to HR this year. What's up with that?
That's in the top 99 Twitter files.
My God. Oh man, Slack, you're allowed to use that. I'm giving you permission. Personal permission to use that. Oh my God. Well, that was definitely one of the cold opens of all time. Welcome to episode 1 of the pod, the Press Play pod, brought to you by the Press Play team. We've got Ahmed on the line. Say hi, Ahmed.
Hello. How are you lovely ladies and gentlemen doing?
I'm just imagining them responding like Dora the Explorer right now. But the other person on the pod is me, Elo. I will be here most of the time. We don't have a plan for this podcast or who the regulars are, but rest assured, people will be on this podcast and they will talk just like we are doing right now.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to like address people on this podcast. I feel like that will distract me from actually talking. So I will just assume that it's just me and you on Discord. Just be slightly more respectful and with more decorum, I guess.
Yeah, slightly more respectful for sure. You're like 10 times more respectful. I haven't heard a single out of pocket joke from you once on it. This is not.
Well, my goal for the first few podcasts is just to not say the F word. And then after that, I'll tone down the sexism and racism, all that stuff.
Fuck, that's impressive. Fuck, I did it. Fuck.
Good one.
But honestly, I do this all the time anyway, so it's actually perfect. I constantly refer to the fourth wall in my day-to-day life, and nobody finds it strange at all.
You constantly act like Jim from The Office. You just
Yeah.
look in the distance.
Yeah, literally this morning, I don't remember what Tasha said to me, but she said it, and I just like looked to the side at the wall, like there's a camera there. I was like, get a hold of her.
Oh my god, that's perfect. Man, Ikram used to do that all the time. I said it. I said the word. Sorry, guys. Lead that.
T minus 10 minutes. Better than I thought. Man. Well, Ahmed, what's going on with you recently?
Yeah, I like that. I was going to say, let's also have a big chunk of this podcast just saying like what we want to work on this year and what we're doing in life and stuff. So that's probably going to motivate.
That's perfect. That's perfect. It's the start of the year. It's the beginning.
Exactly.
Yes, let's do that. Let's talk about that.
All right, let me actually pull up my goals for this year because I wrote them down semi-haphazardly.
That's impressive.
Okay.
I didn't write my goals down, but I got them though.
You got them like in your head?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you want to go first then?
Sure. How about we go band for band, resolution for resolution. I go like my first goal, and then you go a goal, and then we go back and forth.
Okay, bet.
Okay. My first goal this year is this is so ambiguous. My goal this year is to work on the game a bunch. What game, you might ask? Well, none other than the soon-to-be world-acclaimed Metroidvania, the untitled Project Plat. I'm gonna be working on that a bunch more this year, and that's my goal.
Is it actually untitled, or you're gonna publish it as untitled Project Plat?
Dude, it's been Project Plat for the longest now because that's been the placeholder name, and the longer I get into development, the less and less I am able to think of a new name. So that really might just be the name. But we'll see.
How about you tell our lovely listeners what your themes and what your goals for this game is?
Well, the themes of this game are growth. This project came at a time in my life that was very transitionary. It was a very big moment for me. And a lot of what has fueled me through this is just the concept of evolving past who you've been before, which is perfect for New Year's. I totally thought about this before I started talking. And it's a fast-paced action platformer, Metroidvania. I've been working on it for about 2 years now. I'm in pre-production. Hopefully this is going to be the last year of pre-production, but you never know with game dev. But my plan is to make a lot of progress on this and do it without sacrificing meaningful time with my friends and loved ones, like you, Ahmed.
Aw, Man, I'm so proud that he actually like got back into the development of this game and picked it up again. Like low key, I thought that we dropped the ball when we tried to make a big push when we first started, and then slowly our involvement dwindled because of work and life and stuff like that, of course. So when you sent us that message saying, "Hey, let's beta test this level," I was like, "Wow, that's big bro right there. That's big bro energy."
Oh, thanks,
Mm.
man. Yeah, it's been fun.
I like the pink.
Yeah.
Sorry, you wanted to move. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been fun. The playtest session was fantastic, and that's a beautiful segue you just gave me, because I'm probably gonna be releasing a video on that experience, playtesting one of the early builds y'all did. And for those of you listening that are really into game development, that might be something you might like to watch. So look out for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I also really like the first thing you said about his growth, because that reminded me, and I'm interested to hear your opinion on this. So just us talking. You can like cut this out later if you don't want this to be publicized or whatever. But I wonder if still in the back of your head is the stuff we talked about that motivated us to start like PPRS, as in help people back home with practical vocational skills, given the resources that they have to be able to like, grow in their career and their life and get a chance to come here if they want, or just work on stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would be also in the back of your head coming back into Untitled Project Black.
That's a great question, because something I've been thinking about a lot, more so recently with all the craziness happening in the world right now. I don't know if you've heard, but there's a lot going on in Nigeria right now. There's a lot going on everywhere, to be honest. But all that to say, I do still want to be like a source of knowledge and help to, everyone back home, and very cheesily, the whole world. You know what I'm saying? Like, community, we have to be there for each other, because time and time again we can see that no one else will. But it is really hard right now. It's super hard to keep your spirits up that things are going to get better, that any skill you learn is going to be valuable in the next 2-3 years with the advent of AI and whatnot. And so, in terms of, I think, how cut and dry the vision was before, where it's a straight line, it's, we make content and open source technology, and people can learn with the content and use this technology to make cool stuff and better themselves. Now it's, the line is a little bit wobbly, where it's more like, I want to be someone that can keep you company in all the craziness and give you tools that I'm not going to say are like, like before we could say, if you learn to program, you will find work. That used to be true like 10 years ago in Nigeria. Like, I could say, if you can actually sit down and learn to program, specialize in web dev, you can find work, online, contract work, whatever. But now I can't confidently say that. The market is so tough for entry level positions right now. So many people are impacted by widespread job loss. I'm not sure that like our goofy little projects and learnings can have that much of like a material impact, but at least can have some emotional impact, and I can at least offer something to people. Community is something, and games are fun. It's not super noble anymore. I think I'm probably a little bit jaded from life just beating us in the ass a bunch, but we got to do something. And I think what we can do is be there for each other and form community and try to make our own pocket. Who knows? Maybe the next big AA studio out of Nigeria is going to be inspired by us, and maybe that will change and influence the the like job market back home for aspiring developers or something. But the world is moving so fast, it's hard to say. I'm just going to be here and keep working on things that excite me, and I hope everybody that's listening can find that as well.
Man. So keep you company and community, or is Press Play Studio gonna evolve into like a consultation office? What is it called? A counseling?
Not really. I just want a community of game devs and people excited about making art that make art together and gets excited about art, real human art. And if we can if we can affect change with like numbers and petitions and movements, then that would be ideal. So less of a material benefit, more of a social benefit. I think these days I find myself becoming more and more of a, how you say, someone that, not a freedom fighter, because I still go to work, but I want I donate more money than I ever have to like charities now, and to groups that are holding like major lawsuits against some of the big corps right now. And it's all I feel like I can do. I'm only an immigrant in the US, and the mainstream media has let me know that that means I am not worth jack shit. And so what I can do, I will do,
No, I respect that. Yeah. And I love that you reiterated basically the same stuff that I remember us talking about. I just feel like we haven't revisited that conversation now that you picked up Press Play again. And I was just wondering what's on your head. But I'm hearing growth, design, opportunities, art, opportunity, community stuff. Yeah, so I'm glad you reiterated on the same things. And honestly, man, I know you said you feel more jaded, and in a way I am as well, slightly more. But if anything, this is probably more beneficial to like the vision you had for Press Play to begin with, which is focusing on community and design. Because if anything, AI is, what is that term? Not democratizing. I don't know if this is the proper term I'm going
and
to.
shitifying, slopifying,
What? What did you say?
and shitifying.
Is that a term, or you're just saying shit?
I'm dead serious. It's a term, and shitification is a term. I'm not. It sounds like something I'll come up with, but it's real.
Enshittification.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, double T.
Yes.
Enshittification, also known as platform decay, is the process where online services and products decline in quality over time as they shift focus from serving users to maximizing short-term profits.
Yeah.
Is that what you're going for?
Yeah. I mean, I was trying to help you find the word. Either like
Yeah, no.
slopifying.
Not the word. I'm thinking more of kind of like bringing it top down. Like now there's easier access for tools. And that's exactly what we kind of wanted to do.
Yeah, it's just unfortunately the AI tools that we have now don't help the individual more than they help big corps, unfortunately.
I don't think any tool in the world, past, present, or future, would be of more use to the, let's say, weak, quote unquote, individual than the corporation.
Yes, they are. Blender.
Blender is better for individuals than corporations?
Yeah. Like open source projects like Blender and Godot, when I'm thinking of like technologies that I have a net positive on the users of that technology, I think of technologies like that, and a lot of the AI tools, some like release the weights online for free, but they only release the weights for like their worst models. And when they do release the weights for like their best models, they don't tell you how they're trained, and they have all these like safeguards on it. Like it's just AI in general is not heading in a good place. There's been some good stuff. This might get me canceled, but I use like local LLMs on my computer to help me like program and stuff. It's not like writing all my code, but if I know what code I need to write and I don't want to spend like 15 minutes writing like a basic like loop or whatever, I'm like writing to a JSON and then like I don't like look up syntax a bunch, I'll just like have the AI do it. You know, it can't like tune any of like the platformer controls. It can't actually problem solve anything with like how the game feels, but it can help me do some pretty boring stuff, you know? So there's some uses from like LLMs getting so big, but not a lot that are great. Some people like, I know some people, they use entirely AI generated assets. Like, I'm not saying like that is not a better workflow, I guess, than what those people used to do, which is download assets from Unity Asset Store for free or whatever, because now at least at least your asset doesn't look exactly like somebody else's, but it still does kind of look like somebody else's because that's what AI does, and it just like melds all the art styles together. So it hasn't helped me personally. Like, I think AI tools that are great, I'm gonna endorse right now on the pod. Local LLMs you can run, just don't steal anybody's water, and then it's ethical. Comfy UI with local models you can run. Like for LLMs, I use Olama. For visuals, I would say use something like Comfy UI. And that gives you like way more control over everything that your diffusion models are doing. But this sort of stuff, it's not what most people are thinking of when they think of AI. Like they think of like Grok and what Grok is doing over on Twitter. Have you heard about this, Ahmed?
I've heard of Grok. I don't know what do you mean by what it's doing on Twitter?
Okay, I'm gonna read this story for you. So, January 2nd, this is from Reuters, the news outlet. Julie Yakari is a musician based in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, and she posted a picture on Twitter, now known as X, just before midnight, and it was just a picture of her in her bed with her cat. She was just snuggling with her cat. And the next day, I think this was the day that Grok announced its newest feature, which is the ability to edit photos on Twitter with just a button. So to my understanding, I haven't used it yet. You go on a picture on X, Twitter, or whatever, and then there's a button right, like on the bottom right, and then you click it. And then the moment you click it, you can type in changes you want to the picture. And so what happened is this lady wakes up the next day and her timeline is flooded with pictures of her in her bed in a bikini and like very, very explicit things, and it's been a huge deal actually over the last like week since they did this. They've been sued by like multiple groups, and I think the UK is actually debating banning X in the UK because obviously this happened to a bunch of minors as well because the AI can't fucking tell the difference. Imagine being a super intelligence, but you can't tell the difference between a child and an adult. But I digress. But it's stuff like this where like hours and hours of training time has been put and like so much compute has been put just to allow like these guys aren't just fucking predator gooners. They're lazy predator gooners because they couldn't even take whatever picture they want of an innocent person and like do whatever abhorrent nonsense they want on like their own systems with like their own mod, like, or even like just go to another fucking tab. No, they had to do it directly on the app because it's one button away. And it's like this gross negligence that I just see all across the industry from so many companies that has led to like, it's just completely outweighed all the like positives for like every person that's using models like ethically, there's like 500 of them that are like mindlessly generating Italian brain rot for views on YouTube because kids will literally watch anything, you know? And that's the kind of stuff that bums me out. And it's so much harder for smaller artists to make any money with commissions these days because someone can just train an AI on a bunch of your images and they can ask the AI to make whatever commission they want in your style. And it won't be exactly like how you would draw it, but it's close enough. And they're lazy enough to do that. They're lazy enough to just not have to pay you money, you know? So that's what, like, I know a bunch of people back home. It's been a lot harder for them to like make money. I know someone who had to like switch his like business plan. He used to do commissions for like graphic design and stuff, but since AI was getting really good, then he started getting less and less jobs. So now he's pivoted. He's still doing great work in like the image editing space. He does restorations for old images and like he uses like multiple AI tools and then Photoshop as well to do what he does. But that's really just because the LLMs these days can't do it well off of one click, you know? So like we're increasingly having to find like more niche spaces where the robots still can't do it good enough that they take they take your opportunities away from you. But those spaces are getting smaller and smaller, and as long as all these companies are subsidizing all this AI use, like it's gonna be like this, like until this bubble bursts. Unfortunately, I've been talking for a while, but I have a lot of thoughts about AI, and there's a lot. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about today. I have one more news story from the last like week or two I want to get your thoughts on, but I'm gonna stop talking for now.
Deal break. Yeah, what you're saying is definitely in the psyche of the general public. So I don't think anyone would really argue with you or against you about what you said.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
I would be surprised actually. Yes. What came through my head though, especially since you mentioned Blender, is that I'm wondering if when Adobe came out with Photoshop and that became a thing, was Adobe really the ones who pioneered Photoshop? I don't remember, but when that became a thing, was there a lot of stuff like this that was floating around?
Stuff like what?
Like misuse of Photoshop for whatever malicious reasons?
There were some, like there was that whole thing of every celebrity, somebody had at some point photoshopped them naked until like they'll get like a porn star and then they'll like Photoshop a celebrity's head on it. That was like definitely a thing that happened like in the 2010s or whatever. And it's not great. I just think like the difference is Photoshop is like making a tool and then people can use that tool to do whatever. And then that's different from Photoshop. If Photoshop made Photoshop and then they realized nobody wants to use Photoshop. So instead they turned Photoshop into like an easy button where like they just like put a celebrity's face in here, one click, and it will put him on a naked. Like if like it's the ease of use that I think makes it a problem because that increases the amount of people that will use it, that will abuse it. Because not a lot of people know how to use Photoshop. So if you're a horrible degenerate, like even if you have the thought of you want to make image of like a famous person naked, you don't have the skills or the money to buy the app to use it. So you're not going to do it. But then now it's like anyone with a potato of a phone can go and have this model like spend the actual fucking dollars to render this image is crazy. It's kind of crazy just like doing this for free. And like I have so many thoughts. Like from a business perspective, there's reasons why they're doing this. From like a culturist perspective, there's reasons why they're doing this. But essentially what they're doing is burning money for the sake of their agendas. Their agendas are plain and they've worn it on their sleeves at every single conference. Like Sam Altman and all these other douchebags have gone on in the last like 2 years. Like they're trying to drive public sentiment. They're trying to normalize the abuse of it so that they are shielded from the repercussions of the mass copyright infringement that they did. Because it always goes back to that. And they want to like make this case that this is like an unavoidable Pandora's box. And once the box was opened, y'all just have to forget about anybody owning the rights to their own images. Now everybody's images belong to everybody, and you have no reason to sue me for stealing your art to train my models. Because look, now you can just take pictures people post online and do whatever you want to them. Like none of it matters, you know. I like that's the sort of atmosphere they want to create that I have issue with, because there's like this is like the human cost of like this Grok abuse, but there's so many artists that I've seen on post about this on YouTube that they just posted their art because they just posted their art on Twitter. And like this lady, she was working on this painting, a real painting, by the way. This is not even a digital painting. And she just posts, "Hey, I'm working on this thing. I like the way the top half came out. Looking forward to finishing the rest." And then somebody just goes in and says, "Grok, finish this painting." And then it's like, "There, I did it for you. You're welcome." Like, what the fuck is this, bro? I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, it's just like, it's an utter disregard for humanity and the pursuit of skills that is, and like just the lack of care for like something. It doesn't belong to you. That painting doesn't belong to you. You didn't make it. The image that Grok made, you didn't make that either. Like, this is a diffusion model, like clearing noise in an image that was uploaded by a different, like, the conversation has gotten so toxic that I find it impossible to say anything nice about any of the big AI vendors right now, like Meta, Google, freaking X, OpenAI. They all suck donkey balls, man. Dude, yeah.
No, I can tell this is you have a very, very strong opinion about this, or set of strong opinions.
Yeah. And
You're
yeah,
definitely leaning more on the side of regulating this.
absolutely. Like, and we already had regulation. We had copyright law. We like the all this would have been avoided if all the big AI vendors respected that and only trained their models on publicly available data. But what happened is that they did do that, and the models weren't good enough. It didn't have the volume of data it needed to create like a good internal model for how any of the systems, the LLMs and diffusion models, which like how images and sentences worked. And so rather than spending the money that they have, that they actually have, to hire people to make art and make text, make books that they can use, or paying artists, like, hey, if I got an email that says Google will pay me $50 to just use all my pictures for like a AI, it's a raw deal, but at least I got the fucking offer, you know? And they didn't do any of that because they wanted to be first to market with a decent product. And that, I think, is where all our issues have fallen out of. Like, the rampant misuse is because now, like, they made this choice that put their necks on the line, that now they have to be big enough that they can't get sued, or they can weather through whatever lawsuit goes their way. And so that just means more investment. Like, they're all betting on this future where the thing they're building is so impactful that nobody can check them on it, which is like just blatant abuse of power. And that's where we all went wrong, man. I used to be hopeful about like diffusion models back in like fucking 2018 or whatever, when Nvidia did their demo with like the paintings that it would like, you could like draw like a shitty drawing and then it would like make it like a nice painting. Like, I remember seeing that stuff on YouTube a while ago, and I thought that was pretty neat. And I thought they would just keep doing that. Like, you can train on all the old ass art that nobody's profiting off of anymore. Like, I'm fine with that. It's public domain. It's into the consciousness of like humans as a whole. All that old art, we all learn from it. It's fine. But to steal people's current works and chug that shit into a training model without their consent, mad scummy, man. Mad scummy. They know what they're doing too.
Anything else you want to say about regulations, AI regulations?
I think that's it. I think they need to be sued for an amount of money that bankrupts OpenAI, and they need to give all that money to every single person that was put inside all their training data. And also, let's normalize ethical models, please. Let's just do that, because there's some actual good shit here, you know. And I hate that what could be useful is getting co-opted by all these bad actors. And that's my final word on this. Also, I think we don't have time to get into this, but I think the Larian boss, I think he has a good heart. This might age poorly if he doesn't have a good heart, but I don't think he's one of the bad guys. If you know, you know. Yeah, let's let's watch. Let's watch and see first.
Yeah, I definitely don't know, but
Yeah, it's okay.
I don't know how much we want to talk about this. It's obviously a big theme of most discussions, especially technically inclined discussions such as ours. I did just want to say a small thing, tying it back to my original comment, which is that it's not all doom and gloom. I understand we're all jaded, but I still see AI. And by the way, I don't really like calling it AI.
Right.
Rather, we just obviously discussed what's it called in English? Like,
The specifics, like,
I was gonna say that. Just look it up.
I like to call them LLMs and diffusion models. I know, like, at this point, some of these are like more complicated than that or whatever. They're technically reasoning models, and then fucking the video ones are like whatever. I don't care. Like, they're LLMs and diffusion models.
Right. I was just thinking of like another word. This might be a small lesson in Arabic for everyone.
Nice, I love that.
I couldn't find I couldn't find a small translation for the word tafra, but I guess it's boom. Like this boom in the tech sphere in general, but especially in quote unquote AI, is due to what you appropriately called LLMs. So LLMs are not all doom and gloom. They are allowing for easier access to tools, I believe, in general. Like you kind of mentioned this by saying, I wish there were more regulations, not just anyone with a potato or a phone can just use an AI to do like all this bad, crazy stuff. But you should really consider the trade-off of these regulations on the accessibility. The trade-off of regulations and accessibility is that, of course, if you have more regulations like this might easily translate into basically, if you have money,
like who gets to use it, right?
yeah, who gets to use it and how to use it. Regulations are very nuanced, right? Like there's so much you can regulate it by having, as you said, like trademarks or copyrights or stuff like that. It could be using like money walls, paywalls. There'll be a lot of ways to like regulate this, but usually the trade-off is it's less accessible for the people that could actually use it for good too. It's kind of like a catch-all sieve.
I agree. I agree with you there, and I think that's why, even though you think being very like mainstream, I do think there's like, especially in the art community, there's a huge amount of people that are anti-AI to the point where they're just like, AI, any neural network should be fucking regulated. Like, we need to know exactly what the neural network is, and most people should not be able to use any neural networks at all. Only professionals should use neural networks to see cancers and shit, you know. And I am very much not there, and I think, and that's why I think we're in this situation because of the rampant disregard of copyright law. And I think if we literally just go at that, like they've built all this money on this stolen data. So I think you should be able to legally argue in a court that all the money that they make, all the money they learn from investment is because of the stolen data, and they should give all of it back to every single person that was in the stolen data. Like people talk about like, oh, the issue with trying to create a sort of residual system like we have for TV where, if you work on like Seinfeld or something, if you're a writer on Seinfeld, every time it gets aired, you get like a couple cents or something. That's how like they make sure every time somebody's profiting off of your work, you get some money from it. People say it's hard for L&M to do that because you can't really attribute an image generated to like the specific artist that was inspired because it's built on like so much data from so many people. But I think that's all semantics. Like I think we can sit down and come up with a compromise that isn't perfect, but is a good enough distribution of that makes sense. Like I think in now that like we've already done it, easy legislation for a sum of money equivalent to the amount of money they've raised to be distributed equally, I think is fair because so many people have used it at this point. Every single part of that training data has been touched at some point. I think it's fair to just say equally from that one. And then from here going forward, if you're building an LLM, you have to make sure every single part of the training data is paid for. So like you could already buy licenses and you could already buy perpetual licenses. Like I'm sure some people will not mind selling perpetual licenses for their pictures to go into an ethical model. Some people can make deals where if your content is going into the training data, you get like 0.000001%. That might not be a lot, but if it's a big enough company, that might still make sense. Like I think there's so many compromises here between like the people that like the systems are built on and making sure they're fairly compensated that allow us to still take advantage of what this technology can do, which is really create some awesome visual workflows for like VFX, make some rapid iteration for like programming and speeding up writing boilerplate code and like helping even just like brainstorm architecting systems. I do that with my AI sometimes. Like I've come up with a bunch of different possible ways of doing something. Like there's actually so many positives. And that way, everybody wins. I just think right now the corps are winning too much.
You did touch on a very big general historic topic of exploitation and minimizing it or ways to minimize it.
Yeah.
So this is probably a good point to like stop, like pause and pick up later when we want to do a particular discussion on AI, like a specific discussion on AI, pick up from the exploitation point. I hope it would ease your heart to know that from my knowledge, there's a lot of work. There's a lot of AI ethicists. And even before I left tech, we were also working on AI safety, like safety regulations, or like sure I'll call regulations safety regulations and ways to minimize exploitation is, I believe, on any academic's mind as much as like speed and throughput and
Yeah. I met doing
like network quality.
Yeah, I'm glad for that, and I know academics are thinking like a lot of this stuff. I'm been saying I've gotten from other people I've seen talk about this in books. I just hope that the leaders weren't sucky and actually listen to academics. But I feel like leadership is listening less and less to academics these days, and it makes me kind of sad.
Well, I don't know what if that is true or not. If it's less or less. I mean, obviously, the powerful would in general just focus on the return on investment or whatever. And if a academic could not show the value of having less exploitative AI, probably not going to see the light. But anyways, I'm glad we did talk on this. It seems that you had a lot to say. So I hope it leaves us with therapeutic.
Oh, absolutely. My therapist isn't back from holiday yet, so this was great.
When you post this, make sure to take some like hot take or another for your YouTube short.
Yeah. I don't know how I'd edit it though. We'll see. I might just edit it to make you say something really horrible on it. I'll splice in audio like I hate gay people and white people. Specifically white gay people.
Yeah, bonus points to whoever can find that clip in the original audio.
Oh man. Well, that was my rant. Ahmed, would you like to rant about something?
I would like for us to go to the original topic before we tangentially went off from, I believe, New Year's resolution working on Untitled Project Black to AI regulations to exploitation.
Oh, right. We were supposed to. Yeah, that's so true. I completely forgot. Because my topic was AI. I completely forgot we were doing the whole New Year's resolution thing. Okay. Yes. You go.
Yeah, because I was hoping this would be like more light and sets the tone for the next few podcast episodes. But I guess we already know what our next one will be.
Yeah.
My really the theme of most of my points are like this year. What the stuff I want to work on this year is discipline. So there's a lot of stuff that have to do with, I guess, like owning a big project at work or finishing this and that race or like other fitness related goals. But I would say one of the things, and of course the passion project, actually sitting down and working on press play and LD and stuff like that. But out of the two, maybe like a few of the fun ones that I have would be learn Spanish and finish my synthesis of the theologies I read about, which would be mostly Christian and Islamic based theologies. But I have a couple more I would like to include in this, I guess, literature review, if you want to call it.
Ooh. I like that. That sounds fun.
Yeah. It's not very technical. And I think that was on purpose because God knows how much I have to do at work that I don't want to see a computer again for the rest of my day or weekend.
Valid.
But yeah, what are the more fun goals you have for this year?
You know, I want to get into painting more this year. I think I didn't do a lot of painting last year, so I want to paint more this year, I think.
You would not like you would not call your drawings paintings?
No, I pretty much draw most of the time.
Oh, okay. You want to use more like watercolors and stuff.
Yeah. I have like acrylics. I've had acrylic paints for a while, but I made like 2 or 3 pieces around when I bought it, and like I haven't touched it since. I like watercolors. I made like 1 piece, and I haven't touched it since. You know, and like it's mainly just because like it's like a texture thing, and like it's more setup, and that like usually if I'm like trying to just like have like an idea for a drawing for like an image, like I'll just go draw it because I can draw in any book with any pen, you know. But then if I want to like then like I don't paint, and then when I want to do concept art for the games, I have more I struggle more than I think I should, especially for like when I was painting more often, like 2024, 2023. So I want to get back into it so I am more comfortable with colors and whatnot.
Nice. Is that just to expand your artistic repertoire?
Yeah. I'm always expanding, you know.
Yeah, I can tell. You should probably stop eating.
Fuck you. I was making a sex joke and you made it.
Man, um, I
Now you.
will. What do you say?
I said now you have to give your next resolution.
I was going to expand on the Spanish one, and you tell me what you think of this. I want to learn more Spanish so that I can communicate more, like read and talk to people who probably have better, maybe better is not the right word, but insightful or interesting insights in the current like political situation in America. Maybe not necessarily political, but just like sociological and political. I feel like you can't really understand Texas and most of the United States if you don't understand the history of Latin America.
Mm,
And I don't know if like this motivation of mine is too, I guess, ambitious.
yeah.
But yeah, what do you think of that? First of all, like, what do you think of that statement?
I think any reason to learn something is a good reason. But despite, I mean, anyways, I still think it is somewhat true that there's some stuff about the origins of the US that you don't see a clear picture for unless you're seeing things from the side of the like groups they marginalized and pushed out to establish their colonies here. So yeah, like I never really thought about it, but it does seem to make sense to me that there would be more historians that are Spanish. They'll like everything. There's like for every, Spanish guys' works that were good and got like English translations that English scholars are familiar with, there are probably like 10 or so that didn't get translated. And a lot of the English scholars don't speak Spanish, so they don't really cross paths. And like there's definitely like humanities professors and stuff, researching stuff in South America that the guys in North America don't really think about or talk about very often. So I think it's a good reason.
Yeah, this came from a place of wanting to establish a community here. I mean, of course, there's desire for it, but especially so if I decide to stay in this country for a few more years, I would like to involve myself in the local communities here. And I would, maybe not so confidently, but I would say that you cannot you cannot thoroughly impact. I don't know how to appropriately like name the set of our communities. Basically, not white people.
Yeah. People of color, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't want it to make it a race thing. I want to make it like
Yeah.
socioeconomic.
Economically disenfranchised.
Nice, good PC term.
Yeah.
You cannot seriously impact and help the economically disenfranchised communities in the United States, especially in Texas and in the South, without having a conversational level of Spanish.
100%.
That's where this came from. And I felt that when I would like volunteer or go to the mosque and churches, I just felt like I felt like how I felt like how I assume they felt like when I would be back home and white missionaries would come or whatever. You know, European people would come to try to help us. And I'm like, bro, you don't even understand half of the stuff you're doing here. You're coming here to feed our dogs and like set up pet shelters and stuff like that, which is pretty cool, but that's not really how we do it.
That's hilarious. It's like, I'm getting murdered. Yeah, but this doggo is so hungry. Oh, local guy, we need to make your little house. Yeah, we do.
Not to make fun of animal cruelty, of course.
Of course not. I have a cat I love very much, and I would not want anything to happen to her.
Are you making cat dying jokes?
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think that's a I think that's a fine resolution, Ahmed. And I am struggling to think of another resolution to go band for band with.
So you said press play Spanish. Sorry, press play art.
Yes, I have another resolution. I think I want to focus on music more this year. I made good strides last year, but I definitely have a tendency to stop doing music anytime I'm really locked in with either work or the game, and I want to like make it more of a like daily thing.
What? Like, how are you engaged with music?
Like learning music more. Learning
Like music theory?
piano and guitar and music theory and mixing and melodies and the whole shebang.
Wow. I've always wanted to learn music theory and piano. That's probably gonna be this year project though. So yeah, I will live vicariously through you.
Sweet. Yeah, I think music is super fun. I'm not very good at piano, but I have a lot of good experiences just like sitting in front of the piano and improvising based off of like a new chord or a new couple chords I learn. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just sit and like improvise and make music with those. It's very therapeutic, but I want to be more intentional and I want to improve. I should also get like a real piano. That way I can like do two-handed piano more. I have like a tiny little desk piano that I play on. Editor, put that on screen. Thank you.
No, I should show you like the one tune I learned on piano.
But yeah, besides music, I don't think I got any other resolutions. Actually, no. This is a mini resolution, but I just want to not get mega stressed by work this year.
Better work-life balance.
Yeah. I want to like maintain my work-life balance. Like towards the end of last year, shit was getting kind of out of hand. And I'm like, I don't want this to like continue. And so I need to like sort of get that shit back under control because these hours are not, they're not giving healthy right now. This week wasn't great. And like, I really have to make sure this is not what like every week should be like. So we'll see. I'll see how I can engineer that in my work life.
Man, I can't wait for the future episodes where we see how like we improved on these stuff and we start talking about like LDO tutoring and
Dude.
other stuff that Sam will probably bring to the table.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of sad. That's like one of the things I like about like the channels that do either like like off regular vlogs, regular vlogs or podcasts is like watching people go through like arcs and projects like devlogs too. Like I love that stuff. And I think making it helps you in some way to stay on track because you're like we have accountability partners essentially, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. And we can have guests on this like Shreyesh and Ikram who will also tell us about their phenomenal projects. Pretty sure Shreyesh would have a good lot to talk about regarding AI, LLMs, big data.
Oh, that'll be awesome. If I can get my brother on, it'll be amazing too. We can talk about food restrictions and food from all our cultures. And
yeah. We're talking about nutrition and just a good, healthy lifestyle, especially given how it seems to be most of our jobs will go into more of a sedentary lifestyle kind of job.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm doing a lot of PT this year. And that's one of the things, I mean, I don't know if this has place in the podcast, but this is one of the things that I'm interested in.
So you're doing a lot of what?
PT, physical therapy, due to a lot of sitting issues, like a lot of hip issues due to sitting since college. And I feel like I'm making good progress.
It's good. Yeah. I had like the whole back pain arc. I'm still dealing with some of it, but mostly better. And yeah, apparently part of that was also from switching to a more sedentary lifestyle. So yeah, we're unk, man. We have to think about our hips and our backs now.
We are, but honestly, I don't really like that. That would be my mini hot take this episode, and then we can probably start thinking about wrapping it up because I'm very sleepy. But my hot take is the whole normalization of pain. You know, of like back pain and stuff like that. Even for people that are quote unquote old,
Mm.
where I think that's a lot of baloney. I think people are just not, what is that term, like kinetically intelligent, just not very aware of their bodies and how to deal with pain, how to know where it's coming from. Like it took me legitimately at least 2 years to figure out some of the pain in my shoulders, the source in my hips. And it was not very
Mm.
straightforward. And a lot of people were just like, oh, my lower back, I'm just getting old. Guess I
Yeah.
gotta like sit down or whatever, take a nap, you know? And I hate to see that in older people who just gave up, you know, like they had that pain for 10 years. They couldn't gain the knowledge on how to deal with it. And now I just see my loved ones dying slowly. I freaking hate that. That's one of my biggest fears.
Mm.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so I will not corroborate any statements of, oh my gosh, we're being unks. No, we're not being unks. We're being lazy and stupid. And we don't want to spend as much time learning about how to freaking unit test our products. We
Yeah.
don't want to spend as much time as we're doing on that, on our actual bodies and health and nutrition.
You know, there's 100% like there's 100% truth to that. I'm not. I see that stuff with my family too, and you know, like my dad's a doctor, my sister's a doctor too, and even they like have like recurring pains. Like we have family members with recurring pains. It's just like so hard to first of all like get expert advice and actually like be able to really figure this stuff out. And even when you do like find the people that can give you the knowledge you need to like tell you the PT to do, help you even diagnose the issue in the first place and stuff, then some people like have issues like sticking to the routine because like it means like major changes for how you live your life, and people are not used to like changing habits and they haven't built up that skill, and so just all these confounding issues, man. Um,
Yeah, and I like I sympathize, I mean, not empathize, but I do sympathize with people back home. Like that culture is not there. The culture of like physical therapy and
mhm.
I guess working out, having I do see like their aversion to this like hipster like lifestyle of, oh my gosh, I only eat like wheat bread or whatever, when our ancestors have been eating white bread since the beginning of time. So it doesn't make sense to them, like all these fad diets and weird like, oh, let's do yoga. Uh, No one in Egypt knows what the frick yoga is. Okay, so I understand like the environment is not helpful, and as you said, it's hard to even get professional advice, and when you do, it's hard to get motivation because there's barely any support circles. So I sympathize with all of that, and that's something I'm jaded about, and I feel doom and gloom and demotivated whenever I think about, because I mean, I am putting already so much effort and I'm barely like helping my situation. I can't even imagine other people and how I could even help them. That's
Yeah.
one thing I do want.
You know, I'm going to put this is foreshadowing. This is going to be great when we get Emeka on the pod and he can talk about the nutrition side of this and eating healthy and tracking your foods and your symptoms is like such a huge part of this that a lot of people don't think about. And that's an AI that is good because all it's doing is storing the useful bank of data and knowledge on how to diagnose your problem and help you solve a problem. And it's not generating pictures of minors in bikinis. So we'll have
There is so
we'll have
much
a talk about
nuance.
that. There's so much nuance. Yeah.
Really, and I'm very interested to hear your brother's solution to all this, like almost lack of pattern in health issues.
Yeah. It'll be fun. Well, Ahmed, that's what I want to talk about today.
This is actually, I think we did pretty well for a completely unprepared podcast.
I agree. We went on a long tangent there, but you got to keep them on their toes, is what I always say. So I think it worked out well. But yeah, that was the podcast. Thank you for listening. And we should have like a thing we say at the end of a podcast, you know?
Oh my gosh. Stay frosty.
No.
No, it's a really
No, yeah. We could say I like just saying we love you, but I think I took that from another podcast.
And that's how the cookie crumbles.
That's how we don't do cookies. We're not like a baking show.
Outros that I've historically heard.
Ooh, I got it. Thank you for listening to the podcast, and I hope you press play on the next one. Stay safe out there.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Hey?
Kind of cringy, but yeah, when we keep saying it,
Yeah, it'll be endearing.
like the press play, guys.
Okay. Press play out.